And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed.
Singer Seal posted a meme on Instagram showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul with the caption, "When you've been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you're the solution." This raises the question, could attendees like Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Kelly Osbourne, Justin Bieber, and Usher potentially face questioning by federal investigators?
Question now, could past attendees like Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Kelly Osbourne, Justin Bieber, and Usher be potentially questioned by federal investigators?
Were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on.
Diddy's influence appears to be fading, but there's another billionaire who might face trouble alongside him, and it's not Jay-Z, but Oprah. For years, there have been whispers suggesting that Oprah isn't as she appears, with claims that something dark lies behind her caring persona. This turning point could potentially mark her downfall as well. Let's first explore why some believe Oprah isn't all she's made out to be. Aside from any major accusations, she's been accused of being a bully and not as kind as she portrays herself. One incident that upset many was a resurfaced interview with the Olsen twins, where she came across as intrusive and unsympathetic, especially given that they were just teenagers at the time.
You know, people are going to write what they want to write. We try not to read the good or the bad because it just kind of comes with the territory. You know, either you're too fat, you're too skinny, and people are just going to write what they
What size are you, by the way?
Size?
Yeah, I always like to know.
I'm really short.
You're not sure?
Girls, and you know.
That's so interesting. That is so interesting. I'm like obsessed with size, and you're like, I really don't know.
Mary-Kate did eventually seek treatment for an eating disorder later that year. And we've progressed and we've seen just the look on her face, how horrified Mary-Kate and her sister Ashley were when they were asked that question, and then for Oprah to laugh about it. It comes off tone deaf.
Then there's Monique, the actress who accused Tyler Perry and Oprah of blackballing her in the industry, claims that have largely been validated, with Perry even admitting he played a part in ensuring she didn't get work. Monique also claimed that Oprah started taking roles that had originally been offered to her. However, her biggest issue was when Oprah invited Monique's estranged family onto her show without her consent. Monique was only informed that her brother, who had sexually assaulted her, would be present, not the entire family.
Obligation to let Oprah Winfrey know how I really felt. Now I want you to understand something too. See, this is why me and Oprah Winfrey got a problem.
It's still there.
Until that woman says, let me apologize to you publicly, it'll be to the day I leave this earth. Because what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly.
If Oprah was watching this, what would you tell her?
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
Let them know what you said.
Okay. And she said, if you think I did something wrong, I want to apologize. And what my husband taught me a long time ago, an apology is not something that you think you need to give. If somebody else think you need to give it, it's what you feel. So she came off like Mother Earth that she is. If you think I did something wrong, no, Oprah, it ain't what I think. You did do something wrong. You maliciously, and you had full intentions of having my parents on your show and not saying anything to me. Was that for ratings?
It seemed like she exploited the situation.
Were you just exploiting me? There are some sisters in this business that are bout it. Regina King was there that night. Angela Bassett was there that night.
The most troubling aspect, which could connect Oprah to Diddy, is her link to Harvey Weinstein. Though she was quick to make an Oscar speech supporting women who faced sexual assault, many pointed out that she had worked closely with Weinstein for years without ever speaking up. It's hard to believe she saw nothing, especially since, even after the allegations came to light, she avoided directly addressing Weinstein. Instead, she called it a watershed moment and spoke in broad terms rather than specifically condemning him.
And this is what I do know for sure. when something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. I happened to be on set with several actresses the other day, and we were filming some things, and they hadn't slept over a period of 2 or 3 days, and I was like, what is that? They said, oh, you guys are suffering from PTSD.
And when you start talking about it out loud too,
everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And so I think this is a watershed moment. And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, there have been women who not only had the disease to please, that's a part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, in order to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I got to pretend he didn't say that, I got to pretend he didn't touch me. I think those days are about to be.
She emphasized that the issue shouldn't just be about Harvey Weinstein, but rather about the challenges women face as a whole. Critics found it convenient that she chose to highlight broader women's issues instead of holding her friend accountable. What do you think? Was she right to approach it that way? Or should she have focused on calling out Weinstein specifically?
Pretend it's okay. You pretend you didn't.
No, it isn't. You're right, Jeff. You're absolutely right.
But a lot of women have been silenced, and I know.
But I do think it's going to change.
Being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too.
Yeah. So, and you've been speaking about it for a year.
After her Oscar speech, 2 people spoke up, saying what many were already thinking. Singer Seal called her out, stating that she had been part of the problem for years and was now trying to appear as a saint.
Me too.
3 days after Oprah publicly supported victims of sexual assault in the wake of numerous allegations against Harvey Weinstein, Singer Seal Instagrammed this meme, showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul. It reads, when you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution.
Please welcome Sia!
The 54-year-old who's appeared on Oprah's show captioned his post, "Oh, I forgot, that's right, you'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young starry-eyed actresses, my bad." While Weinstein maintains his innocence, Seal hasn't commented further, and Oprah has not responded.
This moment is a really powerful time for everybody to get.
Actress Rose McGowan, one of the first to speak out about Weinstein, also criticized Oprah, accusing her of abandoning sexual abuse victims and calling her as fake as they come.
Rose McGowan has put Oprah on blast. Rose recently called out Oprah on Twitter over her past associations with some controversial men. Rose wrote, quote, "From being pals with Harvey Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come." And just to refresh your memory, music producer Russell Simmons has been accused of rape by at least 15 women. Last year, Oprah pulled out of a documentary that's highlighting their stories because she and the filmmakers apparently did not see eye to eye on that project. And as for her former friendship with Harvey Weinstein, Oprah had said that she did not know about the sexual assault accusations from women, including Rose, only that she had heard he was a...
To refresh your memory, Kevin Hart is an old friend of Diddy. He's also close to both Oprah and Tyler Perry, once even claiming that Oprah loves him more than anyone else in the world. It's clear they all likely know each other well. Kevin was even featured in the now infamous video where Diddy joked about him and a singer fighting over Frosted.
My opinion, one of the ones that affects me the most is Justin Bieber.
Do you have the Kevin Hart one?
Which is odd, Pat, because he gets caught saying that he would wake up next to him and then he changes it and says we would fight off over the Frosted Flakes. Even Kevin Hart is uncomfortable because you're admitting that you were sleeping next to a freaking child. And it's like, I'm tired of hearing all these stories and people just laugh about it. We giggle like this is...
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed, at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen,
we having a good time, yo. Oh, your Usher made it in the... Hey, yo.
Some people have noted how suspicious it is that Kevin Hart closed his restaurants just days before Diddy's arrest. While some have tried to dismiss the theory, it's clear there could be more to it given their history.
Kevin Hart, why are you shutting down all of your restaurants right around the time that Diddy gets busted, Bubba? For those of y'all who don't know, Kevin just shut down all 4 of his vegan restaurants in California after only being open for 2 years. And it's not like they weren't successful. Even Kim Kardashian was tweeting about how amazing his meatless burgers were. Meatless burgers. Good question though, Bubba. Does it have anything to do with this? And also, why the hell are you two so sweaty together? But to be fair, the super thorough fact checkers are saying that this is debunked and it couldn't be it because Kevin closed his restaurants on the 11th and Diddy got arrested on the 16th. Oh, but what's this? Diddy moved back to New York 11 days before the 16th because he knew that he was going to be arrested by federal authorities. And I think it's fair to assume, since him and Kevin are such BFFs together, that he would have let Kevin know exactly what was going on ahead of time.
Regardless of whether Kevin is directly involved, he's definitely aware of the influential forces in Hollywood. He made this clear when he cautioned Kelly Clarkson not to speak too freely, suggesting it could land her in trouble.
And then, I don't know if you've had this, but I've had people throw millions of dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And what? Just, you've been off, yeah. Oh, they're in the room.
Yeah, I don't want to,
yeah.
That was my way of cueing you. Like, it's open dialogue.
Yeah, you want me to keep talking about it?
By all means, we can keep talking about anything, but
don't do it.
Yeah, no, of course.
One thing's for sure. Those who used to attend his wild parties are likely feeling anxious right now and could potentially face questioning from federal investigators.
To his parties.
I said, everybody, come on over to the house.
While it's not a crime to attend a Diddy event, several of the civil lawsuits allege sex crimes occurred during those wild parties.
I've got a lot I can't tell. Can't tell that one either.
The question now could pass attendees like Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Kelly Osbourne, Justin Bieber, and Usher be potentially questioned by federal investigators.
Oh my God. I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
There were very curious things taking place.
Anyone who attended one of Diddy's parties dating back decades should be concerned. So Diddy's rich and powerful friends should make sure they have lawyers on standby as the feds may come knocking.
Over the weekend, all of Usher's posts on Twitter mysteriously disappeared, leading some to speculate it was related to...
Former federal prosecutor Nair Rahman has already stated that wealthy and powerful individuals connected to Diddy are likely in discussions with their lawyers right now.
And I'm here in Hollywood, and Diddy's parties were notorious and one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood. If I were one of those rich and famous celebrities and I participated in these sex acts, I would be very concerned. I would be talking to a lawyer. At best, I'm a witness. At worst, I'm a co-defendant. And I thought that the feds were actually thinking about potentially charging others. And that's why it took 6 months to arrest and indict Diddy. But it turns out that wasn't the case. But if you believe U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, and I do, in the reports, there are at least 50 witnesses that the feds have spoken to, and I bet that some of those were participants in the sex.
He noted that many people are eager to see the wealthy face consequences this time, rather than escaping unscathed as they did during the Jeffrey Epstein case.
I think they are, and I think they should. Obviously, very different case, but one of the criticisms of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation is that the rich and famous people that participated in the sex acts were never brought to justice. And even Epstein himself got a sweetheart deal, probably because he was very rich and well connected. So, if there are other celebrities, they shouldn't get a free pass merely because of their wealth or their fame. And, I think that the U.S. Attorney's Office going after Diddy, obviously he's going to be their main target. But if there's other people that were participants, they too should be prosecuted.
A lengthy list of individuals has already been linked to his activities, and now the only remaining question is who the enablers, victims, and bystanders are.
Were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And certainly if you were involved, you would get a call, because they're going to want to know everything you want to know and may even want you to be a witness. I just think, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve. And the feds have said that this remains an open investigation. There could be more charges for Diddy. There could be more charges for other people involved. And usually the way this works is once they find out other people are involved or were witnesses, they bring them in and they sort of lean on them. And it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So this is going to be a slow developing a case here, because we're just getting started. And I don't see how this trial begins anytime before next.
For now, Oprah seems to have stayed out of trouble, but how long will that last, especially with Kevin Hart now involved? Will we soon see Oprah's true reality come to light? Share your thoughts in the comments. That's all for now. Don't forget to hit the bell icon.